Okay. Oh, boy. Welcome back, everybody. Make sure everything is functioning. It looks like it is. Pretzel is not playing for some reason. Which is weird.
I don't know. I feel like Pretzel has a lot of issues.
Yeah. Okay, it might have just been too quiet. We'll try that. Elvin Hair, hello, hello, welcome in. Get everything set up here.
Elven Hair, it is December 1st.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't quite finish my one centaur for Movember.
I think I forgot to update the YouTube date. Let me check that out real quick. Yeah, it still says November 2nd, 22nd. December 1st. There we go. The current bit rate is lower than the recommended values. So apparently YouTube recommends a very high bit rate and Twitch recommends a very low bit rate, and so it's never happy. It's never happy if you try to do the dual stream. That's just my blight right now. What does YouTube suggest I do? 6,800. I don't know if my computer can handle that. We'll try it. We'll see if that implodes. If I minimize this, does it break? No, seems good. Okay. Bird, bird, bird! Alright. Let's get started. Welcome back, everybody. Oop, now I've closed the chat. Hold on. I think Twitch is dead. I'm just gonna float that. Twitch might be dead.
I thought so too, but there are a couple of people that I follow that still seem to be preferring it.
Alright. What is this music?
I only watch their VODs on YouTube, but you know.
Right.
I think their decision is mostly about their community, though. In terms of building new community interactions, I think, yeah, Twitch is probably dead.
Elvin Hair's watching both at the same time. Touche. Just remember, if you mute Twitch, you don't count. Twitch is evil like that.
Yeah. Muted people are not actually people to Twitch.
I don't know if they're still doing the whole like when you raid somebody, you don't count as their viewer.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I think Rugby's plumage just turned into a head floof.
Yeah, I think so as well. He's just got a cowlick instead.
Mm-hmm. Hope everybody's having a good week. Had a good week. Turns out the Comcast shenanigans that knocked out the internet yesterday was vandalism. Somebody just cut one of the wires. knocked out a whole bunch of internet for like most of the county. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. That's one way to get back at your YouTubers, I guess. Instead of swatting them, just cut their internet. Oh,
I guess.
God, that was probably thousands of dollars of damage.
Yeah.
I spent all day yesterday just working on animations just because I didn't have the internet. And after working on one for like 4.5 hours, I was like, why didn't I block this? And then I started doing blocking, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember how to do this now. So that, or the Photoshop animation stuff is pretty good in the new beta. So it's not like anything
That's good.
fundamentally different, but they just kind of, it works a little smoother than before. So might do that more. Takes time. Kiwi Dance is pretty funny.
Kiwi Dance is very funny.
They made Baby Kobolds just for the hell of it.
I really enjoyed both of the shorts you did since Wednesday, the last time we talked.
Mm-hmm. I think shorts are a good idea. They just like, we should focus on them a little bit, but I still want to make other content too. I don't have any commissions at the moment, so if people want commissions, front of the line. Otherwise, I'll just keep making silly stuff. Moniker, welcome in.
Can you monetize shorts yet?
Yeah. They're auto-monetized.
Oh, okay.
YouTube has a basically a pool. So YouTube pays, $1 billion, which is probably not that much, to all of its shorts, and then it's just divided amongst. It's competition. It's a competition.
Gotcha.
It's percentually divided between everybody. Saturation model.
Yeah. According to my feed, Pirate Gaming is winning that currently.
Yeah. I'll have to budget it, but I'll see what I can do about commissions. Well, thank you, Owen, here. Let me know. I would love to do more.
Take care of yourself first.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to do more, like, just pencil sketches. Like, not do the paintings.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually charge about half as much as I normally do for those, but people just don't want them. Like, which I get. If you're paying money, you might as well pay for the whole shebang.
Yeah.
But I really like the pencil sketches, and I can bust them out in about a day. Why people know what? Sexy elf girl pinups. I don't get it. Just let me pencil sketch. That's all I'm saying. Next. I discovered yesterday after I spilled, or the day before, after I spilled my drink on my keyboard again, that my audio controls work on Pretzel, which is really great. So I can like skip songs and stuff by slapping the buttons.
Cool.
But yeah, didn't realize that was the thing until it started freaking out. Ugh. I need to destroy my desk. I would like to do a suggestion. You are allowed to do a suggestion as long as it follows the rules of the suggestion posts, which are in the descriptions. Welcome in, by the way. Let's get a poll set up. Purple. Okay. Okie dokie. We do have the list set up. I think I'm just gonna start. We only have 12 right now, so we got through quite a few of them. Rolled a 2. A wealthy human nobleman with smooth back hair and a glorious Van Dyke goatee. I don't know what that is. That makes me think of like Dick Van Dyke, who I don't think had a goatee. So I'm gonna have to look that up. He's a warlock bard. Wears very expensive goat. It does say wears a very expensive goat. I assume that's supposed to be coat. Uses a whip as a weapon. Alright. So a musketeer with a whip. Fancy. How are you two wonderful artists feeling today? I'm doing pretty good. RPG Jeffrey, hello.
I'm doing good.
Welcome in.
I'm doing much better than I was on Wednesday. After the stream, Wednesday when I couldn't draw, I figured out that my blood sugar was dropping very quickly, and I was in danger. I had to go and eat.
Good. Hey, gotta watch out for that. Bri, hello, welcome in. Hope you're feeling better now.
Yeah, I am. Miraculously, when you eat food, your energy levels and motor functions work normally. Imagine that.
Moniker, yes, this is a viewer suggestion. Silver, I feel like you're trying to get me to draw Pokemon, which once again, your suggestion, if we go on the list, and I still would like you to come up with a race and class instead of just Pokemon descriptions. Because, yeah, black hole with big mouth. I'm not even sure what that's supposed to be. Like,
it does sound like Ghastly.
It does sound like Ghastly. So, if you can find an RPG equivalent of that, or give me, like, their background to where I know what class they're supposed to be, I will put it on the list. Otherwise, yeah. Yeah, make sure it follows the rules. They're in the description. Got it. Thank you, Corvus.
Is your mic out, Corvus? Because I see your name highlight in the Discord every once in a while, but I'm not hearing you.
A Tabaxi fighter. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Monica,
I was just going to say, my mic just sometimes will pick up little background noises, but none of the sound goes through.
Gotcha.
Most of the time.
No, welcome, anyway. Good
Thanks.
to see you.
You can see me?
You can see me.
I can see your... Yes, I am Big Brother.
Tabaxi fighter undead with a noose tied around their neck. Part of the tree is still tied to it. Monica, I think you suggested that one before. Why would they leave the tree on? I want to ask. I want to know. I have to know. Like, I could see the noose being like a mark of I survived, but like leaving the tree on just seems lazy. I don't know.
It just says part of the tree.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, not the whole tree. But still. Why the tree? I forgot what I was drawing. Is he human? I got distracted by the goatee.
I believe so.
No, we gotta do the pose first. Especially if this guy's got a whip. Like,
Yo, yeah.
we gotta figure out how the whip's gonna go in there.
Hey, Bri.
Bro, welcome in, welcome in.
I'm doing well.
Cats like hitting things that swing. Oh, so they just kept it for funsies? This is a nice chill stream, and try to write some bossa nova too. Try to write some bossa nova too. Ooh, what is that? What does that mean?
It's a type of music, isn't it?
Cyber chimp. A monkey that's left arm is a robot hand, and on the right eye on his robot eye. That's closer. So we have there are the Hadrazi, which are like space monkeys. We can do that. Do you have a class you'd want them to be? I hope this isn't just AI generated stuff. If this is your stuff, that's fine. But
No, the bots have gotten so advanced they're impersonating people now.
yep.
Apparently, bossa nova is like samba jazz
Ooh, okay.
from Brazil.
Very cool. The character that like to take off the part of the tree, but I think it's a cool and edgy detail for their individual person. Plus, they're too lazy to actually try to get it off. Okay, there you go. Yeah, music. Got it. Give him a little man bun.
I think Rook sounds normal. At least for me.
I can hear him, but much lower. Interesting. How does it sound on the stream? Because it might just be Discord being weird. Undead cat stuff, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it is about, like, the difference between Druid and other people.
Well, right now I've got my mic very close. Oh.
Let me see.
Yeah, that's not an option for me.
So right now when I talk, I'm hitting, peeking into the yellow, but I'm not... I could probably be a little bit louder. But I don't want my plosives to, like, blow out the thing. Maybe if I do that. Writing my first track in the genre, and I've been nice challenge to slow down after being focused on D&B for a while. All right, Silver, I'm going to put the Cyber Chimp on there. It says Cypher Chimp, which is kind of cool. I like that name. But if you have a class for it, please let me know. Otherwise, it's just going to be a monkey with a robotic arm.
Its paw, its arm got turned into a monkey paw. It's
Yeah.
out for revenge.
All right, let's see if I can convert this into a fancy lad now. Now that I've done a... Maybe that would be better. Ooh, I like that better. Okay. I'm rolling for shit today. I think I have monkey paw curse. I mean, it's possible. You fiddle with them enough. You might just have like a collective malaise of unsettled curses.
Yeah, all of the minor curses you have been collecting for all of these years have suddenly, accidentally and inexplicably, combined into one horrible curse.
Mm-hmm.
Reminds me of one of the archetypes in 2nd edition.
Yeah.
What's
Called
that?
the Curse Maelstrom.
Oh.
Yep. Apparently you get cursed and it kind of goes haywire, and it... I don't know, I've not looked into it. Seems like something you had to build the entire character around instead of tacking it on later.
Yeah. I can see that. Are you keeping track of every roll you've done? Because I remember you told me you rolled 2 20s earlier. So 2 20s is like, what, one in like 16,000 or something? Is there anybody on Twitch? Because I think my Twitch chat is broken.
I'm not.
F's in chat if you're on Twitch. Twitch might just be dead. I'm also wondering if people have noticed through the Discord that I'm streaming twice, like 2 at the same time. Or if they just think I'm on Twitch.
Yes.
Okay.
At least I got two notifications.
And then prominently rolling very low. Got it. Yeah, I don't think my Twitch chat is working right now. Oh, nope. Okay, that is working. There we go. Gotta start planning Christmas stuff. I would put up Christmas lights today, but it's windy. It's windy and cold out there.
Big windy.
Actively snowing where I'm at. It's not like blizzard conditions or anything. It's just a real gentle snowstorm. But it's the kind of snow that like makes everything unnaturally quiet, saps all the energy out of you.
Gotcha.
Makes you just want to snuggle up under a blanket next to a fire.
You ordered like 30 new sets of dice. I think this set is a bad set. That's true. Put it in dice jail. Decurse it. Light it on fire. Hit it with a hammer.
I'm not sure if I have.
Gamer Argus. A human witch eating a sandwich with her fox familiar. Well, I can do some of that. We'll put it on the list for you. Human sandwich. Got it. Oops. I'm going very slow on this guy today. I'm not sure what's happening here. I like burned myself out yesterday really bad doing animation. It's a slog. Like animation is just
Yeah.
it's a lot of work.
I am so bad at staying on model as well, and that's really frustrating.
That was a big thing for like why I went back to blocking. Just because like the first thing I did was just do like really basic. Okay. Really basic shapes, but then I had to go back and like I started losing perspective. It was like the actual perspective of the character. So I had to go back to like do all the basic shapes over again. And at that point, it's just like, oh my god, I can't do this again. Animation is a lot of redoing the same thing over and over and over again.
Yep.
Before I forget, that suggestion I sent was from the week before when it wasn't picked, so I resent it. I think I know that's not okay or something. Nope, you can do that. That's totally fine.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
You get one suggestion a week, so if you want to keep resubmitting the ones that don't get done, that's totally fine.
If we see the same suggestion like 3 times eventually, we tend to like recognize it, and if one of us remembers having drawn it, then
Yeah.
it is less likely to get drawn. But if it didn't get drawn, like there's no record, there's nobody sitting in the background going like, oh nope, that one, the dice gods rejected that. No.
Yeah, I've definitely had someone suggest the same thing week after week after week. It's like until it gets drawn twice, and it's like, why? Just something else, please. Like either you're not paying attention to the drawings that are being done, or just we just want to give someone else a chance, you know. But if it doesn't get drawn, I'm totally fine with that. Drawing coats is hard. I want to get better at that. The fabric is just thicker than what I think it should be. Maybe I need to do another rugby. I don't feel warmed up enough yet.
Go for it. Or we could take this opportunity to chat, help us out here, figure out what December's theme, like donation theme drawing, is going to be. We've had submitted Drowsember and Demonsember.
Which I am hesitant to do because both of those are not something I can do small and quickly.
Yeah.
Like the idea was that it's a bonus, not just a free commission. So Drow I think is out. Demon is literally going to be something like this every time.
Just a little, just a imp.
Yeah.
Batsember.
Batsember could be good.
Since we already did bets, I can't remember.
Did we
I
do
don't think
bats?
so.
I don't think so. Cramp Timber. Cramp Timber could be pretty funny.
It just sounds like you have Crimson or Author as December, which doesn't sound pleasant. See a doctor.
Go see a doctor. Imps are sort of like elves. That's true.
We could do something with Yule, and you could do a bunch of Yule ads, which are basically just
Tiny
little
trolls.
red caps. Yeah.
Yeah. That could be funny.
Or little Yule logs that
Just
are
a little.
like Koroxes.
That could be funny. I kind of like that. Dog Semper, tiny doggies. What is up with the music today? Am I on the wrong playlist? What's happening here?
I need healing.
Oh, healing, thank you. I'll drink my water. I think my pen is too big. Make the pen much smaller. I did something weird with I screwed up my pen in Aggie. The audio on the alert is way louder than you guys. Okay. Yeah, sound alerts is probably too big. Let's turn that down. Hit me with the Yoshi tone.
No.
Hang on.
If you guys want to play with the soundboard, it's on Twitch. Gotta go over there. I think there's one in the Discord too, but I'm not sure how that works. There's only like 2 things on it.
I have to wait a minute. Someone
Okay.
else do it. Because I already technically sent the sound alert whenever I did drink your water.
That wasn't bad. I think that's probably fine. I think the minimum size is a little screwed up. My hair is too long. I've decided this. And I've been waiting for Jump Rope to cut it. And I was like, I'm just going to go get my hair cut today. I just can't stand it anymore. And I drove around my neighborhood, and there are no hair salons left. Like, there's one really fancy hair salon, and I'm like, I'm not going there. But like all of the little hair, like quick cuts and barbershops, they're all closed. And I was like, that's not good. I
Yeah,
don't know what to
nope.
do now.
Not a good sign. Guess COVID killed them all.
Something. So now I am sans hair cutting appointment. I'm not sure what to do about that. I think this is probably my favorite song on the playlist. I've been looking at a lot of Wayne Reynolds stuff,
Yeah.
and like a lot of his characters are just like Wild shapes.
Yeah. He does stuff that's like wildly unproportionate, like just unproportional, to the point where like it actually, if you look at it closely enough, it looks incorrect.
Yeah,
to me.
looks
Like
wild.
where if I drew those shapes, it would drive me batshit crazy. I would be so down on myself. But then he keeps those shapes because they're interesting and plays with them to make them work. And I'm really jealous of that.
Yeah, same. Like his shape confidence is just, it's so on point that like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. It's just so hyperly stylized that it looks great, and then you're like, wait a minute. The more I look at this, the weirder it gets, but it's great.
Yep. I also am super jealous of how he can cover his characters with stuff. There's just so many interesting things to look at, but like it somehow doesn't ever feel overworked.
Wait, which artist are we talking about? Monica, we're talking about the guy that does the Pathfinder art.
Yeah.
Corvus just posted
Wayne
a picture in the
Reynolds.
Discord if you want to look at it. And like a great example of that is that Minotaur. Like, it's a really, really good picture of a Minotaur monk. But like, just the shape language of it, there's almost not a lot there. Like you can still tell that it's a Minotaur because it has the horns. But like, it's mostly just baggy pants.
Yeah.
It's just like, how do they do that? How does he do that? Super jealous.
I love his drawing of the fighter.
Yeah. Which
The
is
one
essentially
where-
just Val Kilmer from Willow.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, not the only like celebrity that's in who's made it as a Pathfinder character.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's one that's like modeled on Robin Williams.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. That also doesn't surprise me.
There's also this person. Just
It's just a big block.
absolute bulk.
Yep.
Yep. Oh, that's such a cool lantern, though.
I don't know how he takes that shape and makes it into a person, but he does, and it's great.
Also, a lot of his characters have the Final Fantasy problem where it's just too many
Too many
belts and
buttons.
satchels
Yep.
just everywhere. It's like,
Yeah, the shape language is super bizarre. It's like, okay, let's make a cleric, and they're like, all right, here's what he looks like. He looks like a brick, but with like little feet and hands.
well,
Like if this is what you
Technically,
showed me as the shape language for that character, I'd be like, what is this? He's a potato. But then like when he
Yes.
finishes with it, it's just amazing.
Yep.
Looks like it makes you a scrapbook. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. The Mad Margin was awesome for the fighter rogue. Hell yeah. Something I've noticed, a lot of my characters, I try to make them very lithe, and like I try to place the arms and legs to where you can actually see them kind of jutting out, but it makes my poses kind of unnatural sometimes.
Yeah.
Just because, but like I like it, I really like that, but I wanted to challenge myself to like, can I be okay with having an arm be inside the silhouette? Because I'm just not very comfortable with that. Like I want to see the arms always splayed out. And he's a great great person to look at for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely a person worth doing master copies from.
Layering is important. All right, I think I'm about done with this character.
Yeah, like I don't know how the iconic rogue that he has created is even able to move or sneak around without jingling or jangling, and it's just too much stuff.
I think I'm okay with. Let's do some Yule lads. I think this December should be Yule lads. And with that, I'm just going to draw tiny little Christmas imps. Christmas imps and so forth.
Awesome. Good choice.
Good, we'll do Christmas Mothman.
Druid does not feel like doing holiday anything, honestly.
There.
Okay, I'm done with this bad boy. You got any favorite Yule lad designs you like? Like the only ones I can remember are from the show and Hilda. Yeah, Hilda's was pretty funny. I liked Hilda's. I think that was probably the first time I really got introduced to Yule lads. So no, I don't. I'm gonna draw them as little tiny imps and little tiny trolls.
I got
Pointy hats.
I draw offy.
Bristleback Nightshade, a half-dwarf, half-demon with jet black skin, slightly fangs, and orange hair resembling Blanca from Street Fighter. Well, I liked it until it was Blanca from Street Fighter, but that's fine.
Do you not like Blanca?
No, it's just fan art. So half-dwarf, half-demon, jet black skin. All right, we'll try that. I don't know how I'm going to do jet black skin, because that's tough with my art style. But I could probably do something. We'll do a background color. Was that your suggestion, Corvus?
No.
Oh, okay. What are we doing? We're doing blue? Blue. All right, we can do that.
I was gonna say you could probably take I don't know, make a big black splotch and do the blue over the black.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try that. Kind of druid style.
Paint in a silhouette, and then do details on top of it.
Yep, we'll give it a go. Dwarven demon.
I've not made a suggestion for this week, so. Speaking of dwarves, I've been playing dwarves in my game.
Mm-hmm.
I realized I don't like dwarves.
Racist. Why not? Why don't you like them?
So the reason I don't like dwarves, at least from a fantasy setting, is they have too much baggage.
Okay.
From legacy. Like what I mean is when you put a dwarf in a story or a game, there are a lot of assumptions that everyone makes about them, and when you try to break the mold about it, people are upset about it. So I'm
interesting. Okay.
The Scottish accent's negotiable in a lot of times, but it's they gotta be sort of Viking-esque, which yes, dwarves are from Norse mythology. That's fine, but it's just they always have to be miners or smiths. They always have to live underground, and it's just can we just move? Can we? Also, a lot of fiction about them is they're super obsessed with past grudges to the point that it just ruins their society. I'm just
sure. So I have a.
I think I 100% agree with you, Corvus.
Yeah, you're definitely not wrong.
Yeah.
To which, and so I have a counter for you, and this is a thought experiment. So this isn't I don't have an answer for it. But
this is just a me thing.
Yeah, no. I mean, like I said, I think you're right. That's a great analysis of how people portray dwarves in most of fantasy, and that's I think because of one that where we have references for them, because of the Viking. That's wrong. Norse mythology. the dwarves and elves are very similar, but they're just from different locations, different realms. But and then when you look at like Tolkien and you look at like how Warhammer looks at them too, I think that's a very good explanation of what you said. So how would you break them away from that and still have them beat dwarves? Like what is fundamentally about them that you'd keep that would still be able to break away from that? Let me see what Bryce says here. I don't know if I've ever talked about the North Pole employees, elves, half-lines. I think they're supposed to be halflings, but half-lines sounds pretty good too. Gnomes, something else. Yeah, I mean I think they're elves, but they're not. They're not Tolkien elves. They're Keebler elves.
Pixie elves.
Pixie elves, yeah. Fey elves, little fey creatures.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily have an answer to it, though. In the game I play, I do like how they handle some of. So in the game I have the mod, they've like broken down dwarves into like individual like holds. Like each little mega city of dwarves has its own like separate culture. Like one has like, because they produce so much glass, they have a culture based around like artistry and glassworking. I was like, that's cool. And I do like dwarves who are crafters and stuff like that. Or personally, I kind of like dwarves as bankers because they probably would have the best vault security in the whole world.
Sure. Yeah, Elven hair.
Yeah, well, why would you not go to a dwarf?
Yeah. Elven hair says like most people have them so monoculture, and like I think that's right. I think it's because of a lot of the fantasy realms or creatures like orcs and stuff. Dwarves do have a big like multi-heritage background. Like just from where you pull things, there's a lot of it. There's already a lot there. Whereas like if you start talking about like centaurs and stuff, you got to start making that stuff up because there's not a lot.
Because like elves, you can, because in terms of like things that have multiple cultures and ethnicities, I guess would be a term for it. It's like humans, then elves, dwarves, even then dwarves only a lot of times just have like in a lot of these settings like maybe two.
Yeah, you might have like stone dwarves, mountain dwarves,
and like hill dwarves.
Hill dwarves, yeah. And it's
city
the same.
Dwarves.
Yeah, city dwarves. City dwarves would be the bankers. But I think there's another like even the Dresden books I think was really interesting. They kind of clumped the Cernivlin basically into that's just all of the dwarven gnome thing, just kind of into one thing, which they made. I think he describes them as looking like gray aliens, which I think is great. Bunny things from the Rise of the Guardians. Oh, maybe I haven't seen that. But as I'm aware, dwarves were always mountain folk, not necessarily Vikings, but adjacent to it. I think the recent God of War games express most unique ways. Possibly, yeah, because like if you look at mountain dwarves. Like being from the earth, that could still also fall into like elves as well as gnomes. Like they're all just kind of, and sprites as well, like being like high craftsmen. But that's just, it depends on where you're looking at it. Yep. So
also elven hair, that's definitely like aesthetic choice I personally push dwarves is like towards like Mesopotamian, Sumerian type of material culture in terms of just like give them the big ringlet beards and huge ziggurats. I think it's a way of like pulling them away from like the monoculture that they're kind of just been saddled with.
I like the Tolkien dwarves as well.
I mean, I don't want them gone. It's just I want other things other than just Gimli clones.
Sure.
I love Gimli.
Ooh, I heard a scathing review of Return to Moria today.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was just like, oof. Guy really laid into it. which is a bummer.
Too liberal. Kidding.
Too yeah.
Too woke. Female dwarves?
Next, these
Eat
dwarves are
that.
going to be peeing in cat boxes.
What?
Sorry.
Before we go too far with that, I
Yep,
need to
yep,
roll
yep.
for my suggestion. What am I rolling?
Oh, roll a d12. Gray aliens, yeah. Graylians. Graylians is pretty good.
Graylians. Nice.
All right, I rolled a 3.
An unlucky turtle who first got turned into a Nothic and then was undone. Oh, undergone ceramorphos. Well, okay, so there's a lot here. The new class being a warlock with beholder patron because he wants to be granted both magic as well as more eyes. So you have to somehow fit in a turtle who's just
Nothic.
been turned into an eldritch abomination.
Okay.
So a beholder patron mutant turtle. Let's do
Okay.
that.
I'm just like thinking
Chimera,
a multi-eyed kraken in a turtle shell. That's kind of all I'm picturing.
Just like mush.
Yep.
I really want to give this dwarf the big beard, but maybe not. Maybe with all the hair up top.
Or big giant braided mustache.
That's kind of what I was going for, but do we braid two sides or do we braid it together? That's the question.
In my mind, I was kind of thinking separately.
Dwarves seem
But
to
that's
be the
probably more work for you.
yeah, it would be more work. Dwarves seem to be maybe it would be better. We could do like just two big braids on the side. Could try that. Dwarves seem to be the best fit if they seem to be the best at steady work and reliability. Halflings just seem like they would get bored and walk away. Gnomes would be a good idea for new toy designs, but not mass production. Oh, for the elves. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like Santa's elves are definitely like gnome-like in terms of just like appearance.
Yeah. Trying to remember why they... So elves is kind of a catch-all term for fairy folk.
Fairy folk.
Yeah.
Yep. Because dwarves were also considered elves in some stories from Norse mythology.
Yeah.
They're like you said, they're just elves that live underground.
They're essentially mountain or earth spirits, or earth fae, I guess.
Chthonic.
Which is why you get them being sturdy and robust, and that's kind of why I'm okay with some of the monoculture there, especially the whole like honorable dwarves. I'm less fun or less interested in the like ruckus drunk or dwarves, and I like
that's
the more
another
like,
one.
I like the more noble dwarf. But both of those can be, I mean, just depends. Depends on what you're doing.
Gimli was honorable and a drunk.
Work hard, play hard. But then you have like the Hobbit. I just started rewatching the Hobbit movies, which I'm enjoying them much more this time around. Because the last time I watched them was like when they came out. And now that I'm watching them, I'm like, yeah, this is fine. Like, I have no problem with this. And it's kind of the same thing with like, I'll watch episode 1 of Star Wars now and be like, yeah, this is fine. I have no problem. But like, they just rampage through is it Rivendell? Yeah. And it's like this is a little excessive.
But they're elves, so it's fine because they have grudges against them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole grudge thing was always weird for me, because
Have you
at least
seen
in the movies, it's like touched on. I don't know about the books, but like in a lot of other media, like Warhammer, it's like not they have a whole like Bible of grudges that they write down. It's like so massive it takes like 4 dwarves to carry it out on like a little palanquin.
Palanquin?
In the Hobbit book, I don't remember them actually talking about that, about the grudges. I think that it was literally just the dwarves moving through the elf-controlled territories and
Yeah.
asking for help not getting it for the most part.
Yeah, well, it's Thorin. Thorin was stubborn. Like that was
Yeah,
the whole
no.
the whole shebang.
But like it wasn't. It didn't ever seem to me like the elves were particularly like malicious, or that the dwarves were particularly malicious. It was just like Thorin's an ass.
So, yes, Thorin was in the wrong through most of the Hobbit. Like I'm just gonna put that out there. But like so the elves and the dwarves. I think the reason, if you go through like the Silmarillion, which is great, though hard to read. Essentially, the dwarves were made first. And then the gods were like, whoa, 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 whoa. We said we were going to make elves. And they're like, yeah, but I already made the dwarves. And they're like, you can't do that. Like, we promised Captain What's-His-Face over here that he'd get to make elves first. And he's like, well, hurry up, make the elves. And he's like, I'm taking my time. And so they put all the dwarves to sleep like froze them in stone and just like, okay, we'll wait. And then the elves got to be born and be this magical, like, perfect race. And then the dwarves came about. So the dwarves always kind of had this, like, you snooty sons of bitches attitude towards elves, which I think is great. I love that. But then from there, the elves just always have this like, oh, we're so perfect and we get everything we want and whatever. And then when the dwarves are coming through to reclaim their land, Thorin's like, you guys could have helped us at any point. Like, fuck you guys. Why should we give you any of the treasure? And they're like, well, we would have been, like, buying stuff from you, and some of that gold is ours because the dragon took our stuff too. And they're like, well, too bad. And he just refused to concede any of it, which I think, once again, is Thorin's fault. Thorin should have absolutely just accepted the help of the elves with the expectations of sharing the wealth, and he wouldn't. So,
it's like, let's be honest, there's literally enough wealth there that the dwarves would still walk away.
Oh, yeah.
Well in their means.
Absolutely.
Because I know at least
100% Thorin just being an ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also maybe suffering from the gold sickness.
Right.
Yep. Or in this mod I have, they call it the Horde Curse.
The Horde Curse.
Yep. Like, if you... So basically in this, someone's D&D world, the Dwarven Empire has crumbled because of orcs coming up from the Underdark with their goblin interns.
Okay.
And basically decimating Dwarven Empire, and so there's only like a few like remnants left. And so you can pick one remnant, or you can start as like a dwarven adventurer going back into the mountains to refound a hold.
The Barlin.
And when
Barlin model.
And when you get like, I don't know, it's like 12 holds under your control, and you have like dug your main capital to like the bottom of as deep as you can go, there's this ticking disaster that starts happening called the Horde Curse. And basically it's just, you've acquired so much wealth that your civilization is just going to start crumbling because of the greed of dwarves. But also, if you keep digging so far, you could crack through this seal that causes basically their version of Durgard, the obsidian dwarves, to just start pouring out through your capital and taking over everything. Yep. You didn't pay attention to the runes. But yeah, it's an interesting way of handling dwarves that I think is... There's enough different dwarven cultures that it's like, okay, I don't have to deal with the drunken dwarves.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's the other problem with the Tolkien universe is, like, there are 7 different types of dwarves, and we just really only hear about 2 of them.
Yep.
Actually, we really only hear about Thorin's, the line of Thorin. So
yeah,
because there's like Iron Heels, but even then, that's still like Thorin's family. It's his cousin.
Well, Thorin is of the line of Durin, which is he was one of the prime dwarves that were put to sleep.
Dwarf Prime.
Yeah, essentially. There were I think there were 7 dwarves that were initially born, and then they were almost immortal. Like they lived as long as elves, but they age. They age like mountains do. Like it's just so who knows?
Right.
I don't know if there's
consequently that's also the reason for the number of rings of power that were gifted to the dwarves.
which makes sense.
7 to the Dwarf Lords.
In their mountain homes. 9 rings gifted to the human kings or kings of men.
Mortal men, doomed to die.
Doomed to die.
Yep.
As it should be. We don't need to live forever.
People had a lot to say about the new
Rings of Power.
Rings of Power. I liked it. It was good. I enjoyed it.
I finally got to see some stuff from it. I think the part I really liked, weirdly enough, relating to dwarves is, I think it's a funeral for a dwarf, and the dwarf queen is singing, and like the stone is like weeping. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
I really liked that they added that in the stone singers. Like that's how they find all their ore veins and stuff, is they actually go and sing to the rock, and then it's like that way. I'm like, yes, I like this. I like this idea.
Yeah.
Very cool. Lots of really good world building, which I think is something that was kind of missing from some of the old. Because we only ever see, like in the Lord of the Rings, we kind of see almost post-collapse. Like the elves are dying, the dwarves have already been like decimated by the goblin wars.
Because like,
it is pretty much post-apocalyptic.
Because like, I think by the time of Lord of the Rings, there's only like one dwarven city like around, isn't there? Like, and that's like Erebor.
In Middle Earth, correct. Like yes, but there are more dwarven cities we just don't see, because there's a lot more of the world that just kind of isn't talked about.
Yeah. For all we know, the 2 blue wizards might still be alive and kicking down in the southeast. Still making magic worshipping cults.
Stupid blue wizards.
Yeah, because like, the only reference to the 2 blue wizards is like in The Hobbit, and a vague offhand reference to them.
Yeah, they're not named
in The Return to King. I think in one of the notes they're named, but like it's never like, I think, published in any of like the main stories.
Yeah, like even throughout the Silmaril, like they're essentially unnamed characters, which is great, because it's just like this one weird note of discrepancy that Tolkien never touched on. You know, them blue wizards.
Because like Sauron talks of like how he has like the 5 rods of the 5 wizards, and it's like, wait, well, we only know there are 5 wizards, so.
I was reading a thing
you
about
and
Radagast. Like Radagast was named in the Silmarillion, but like was never a character. And Peter Jackson was like, we need more wizards. So he wrote all the crap for Radagast.
I mean, I'm okay with that. I like Radagast. At least Jackson's Radagast.
Yeah, he did a decent job.
Yeah.
Sure, Radagast is a druid, not a wizard, but you know.
Well, Gandalf is as much a pyromancer as he is a freaking a warrior, so who knows? Or a cleric.
Yeah. And Saruman was always a bard.
Yeah. Gets to fascinate people with magic and stuff. Don't listen to him.
Yeah, and his voice, like his power was mainly in his voice.
I dig it.
Yodeling on top of his tower.
Yep.
Though I think he was like associated with like the smithing god, Aoi.
Oh, sure.
Saruman was. Hence why he was so like industrious in his war making.
I could see that. Whom do you serve? It's one of my favorite gifts. The dogs getting flour slapped on their face.
Which is straight like not an Easter egg, just straight up a thing in this mod where it's like you can
Like painted orcs.
yeah. So there's this region where basically you start as like it's kind of like Kingmaker in terms of like you're starting as a little adventuring party. You gobble a bunch of land, form your own little kingdom. One of them turns into this evil necromancer kingdom that can like turn the orcs into interns and magically alter them to be better soldiers. I was like,
Gotcha.
this is Sauron.
Yeah.
And I think you literally build a big giant like spiky tower, like Saruman's. Cause like, how can Gandalf not realize like Saruman was evil? He looked at the tower he lived in.
Well, it wasn't always like that.
Yeah, you know, Orthanc is always like that. The thing you need to realize is that Orthanc is black not because it was like it's an evil tower. It's because it's made out of adamantine. It's literally made out of a magic material that resists the erosion of time and damage. In the Lord of the Rings, there is specifically a mention that the gates of Minas Tirith are made out of the same material, and that's one of the reasons why they held so long. It was because they were basically a magically indestructible material.
The other thing you got to think about is Saruman is like the head angel on Earth.
Yeah.
So him betraying everybody was quite a shock.
Yeah. Slap in the face. Especially considering, like, all of the stuff that happens behind the scenes in The Hobbit that Gandalf has to go deal with, which is basically it is, I believe, actually supposed to be precursor to the Nazgul rising, right? Like, I believe I remember that actually happening in The Hobbit, but it's totally ancillary.
Just in the movie. In The Hobbit, it was a passing comment.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see more of the supposed dark elves in the Silmarillion. Only 2 were mentioned, and they were made bad and then forgotten. Yeah, kind of. Like, it was that the whole concept of that was really to talk about the Morgoth, I think, instead of actually the elves themselves. Because it was the thing. Like, the elves were supposed to be this perfect race, and then one of the gods was like, "What if I broke them a little bit?" And they're like, "Stop being a dick." And he's like, "No, that's what I want to do." I got to see dwarves. Well, after Japanese society isolates and prideful warriors, inventing a perfect explosion of the firearms. I could do it that way. Last Bean Bender, hello, welcome in. Love purple. My Saint Mary grows bright red flowers and bloods of devil. Oh, okay. I don't know what that means, but is that a flower? I want to know more about the Hadrim, Easterlings, and the Pirates of Umber. Yeah. I would see a whole story about the Blue Wizards trying to lead a rebellion against Sauron. That could be fun. Like, yeah, there's definitely a place for it now with them doing the new stuff, because it's an expansion of the world, which I like. Can you draw Wyoming? I can't, because that would be fan art. How about Colorado instead? Same thing. Same thing.
Where? Full rectangle.
Okay. I think I'm done with this blue dwarf demon. It's very muddy, and I don't know how to fix it without, like, just doing a whole new layer. Oh, weird. I've been drawing with transparency on this whole time. Oh, because I've just been drawing on top. I understand now. I understand now. Okay. Well.
Those are some glorious mustaches.
Yeah.
You can't step on your mustaches. You haven't been growing them long enough.
Let's go ahead and roll the dice. 1. A disgruntled and tired wage worker warlock. A normal guy on modern Earth who has unwillingly made a pact with a board of faceless interdimensional corporate executives. He has no choice but to keep being sent to different realities to do odd jobs for their patron. All right. So it's a normal guy.
Yep. A normal guy working for Jeff Bezos.
Yep. Interdimensional Jeff Bezos.
I mean, he already isn't interdimensional Jeff Bezos.
Well, we can't prove that. We shouldn't talk about it because he might be listening.
Nah. Ciao.
How am I going to do this? What color are we doing? Rude? Drawing some rude. These suggestions are a lot more complicated given the one sentence long. Yeah, people like to play with the run-on sentence thing.
I don't always mind that fact. Sometimes there's a drawing suggestion that I appreciate the little bit of extra detail they can sneak in, but sometimes it does feel like an abuse.
Oh, okay. Oh, I got booted.
Half Tarrasque Turtle Barbarian with Viking runes and the shell. I suggest you have not done that yet. Yep, we can do that. I will put that on the list.
Don't die.
I'm alright. I think I'm going to buy the remastered books today. Pathfinder 2 remastered books. I've been putting it off. Because I'm like, what if I get them for Christmas? And I was like, I'm just going to buy them. I'm just going to buy them.
Early Christmas present
Yeah.
for yourself?
Just slap a Santa sticker on top. Did you see my suggestion? Yes, Western Justice, I did. I put it on the list for you.
High noon.
Unless there's something I particularly want, I let my guys fill in the blanks design-wise. Yeah. Which I appreciate. Like that's why I really just want like race and class. Because if you get too detailed, it's like kind of traps us into the design and we can't really do as much with it.
Yep. And that's the case why you're just not commissioning Rook.
Yeah.
Hashtag give Rook your money.
Hashtag commissions.
Pay your artists. Alright, this is basically what I was asked to draw, right?
Good enough.
I think it's
mean,
pretty cool.
It's got one eye. It's got tentacles. Could have been a turtle at one point in time, but there's only a handful of there's only a handful of traits that seem to pass through the Ceramorphosis.
Yeah.
And it's usually based around the like kind of fey nature of the creatures, not their physical properties. Through like the gnomes and stuff.
Yeah. The squidlings or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is my rendition of it.
Nice.
Hashtag not canon.
Hashtag don't sue me.
This is my Sonic OC, do not steal.
Is this all your art? Local Obama Prism. I am drawing stuff on the left, and Druid is drawing on the right.
I am Druid. Hello.
And I am just your dad commentary.
Yep. Corvus is our what's the lore librarian? What's it from Trophy?
That'll be a Druid question. No.
Yeah. It's the lore librarian. I am the lore librarian. You have to talk like that from now on.
Yeah, no, thank you. I can't do your character's voice, Druid. I can't do Curdle's voice.
I need you to destroy your vocal cords.
Fine.
I guess the only update I could give about Pathfinder is I got this. Not saying I got a special preview. Let me just clarify. That's not what happened. I read an article of someone who else got a special preview, and there's like 3 new archetypes coming in the newer book called Howl of the Wild. One is a werewolf or a lycanthrope archetype.
Okay.
So that's
I'm
a
on board.
thing.
I was gonna say I was gonna bet shifter, but I assume they're probably gonna blend those two together.
Well, there already is kind of a shifter.
Yeah.
That's basically the beast skin.
Beast kid. Okay.
And then there is the
They really
wild.
don't-
Oh,
Sorry.
go ahead. Sorry.
They really don't need a shifter class because you can build that with the druid.
Yeah.
With the feat
Yeah.
system. Sorry, go ahead.
There's a one called a wild mimic, not an actual mimic.
Okay.
You
As a
kind
class?
of like an archetype, yeah.
All right.
And you I guess you could describe it like it's probably more like a shifter class archetype as well, or like Tarzan it's described as.
Oh, you're
You
you're mimicking like a wild creature.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I was raised by wolves.
Yep. And like the picture they showed is like some I don't know, forest elf with sharpened claws and fangs, kind of like hunched over on all fours.
Gotcha. That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah.
And then there's a swarm keeper
Nice.
archetype.
Yes. The bee wizard will live again.
Yep. Let's see.
I feel like I just have to point out here. This is essentially all I drew in high school. Was just weird kids in ties with battle axes.
Very naked people.
I'm getting like Shinigami vibes from this.
I'm the one that only drew naked people.
I was wildly repressed and terrified of people judging me, so. Lots of ties. Waiting for a package to arrive. Me too.
I just stopped letting people look at my sketchbook. I'm ready to roll a new thing.
Hit me. Keep doing a D12.
Yeah.
7?
7?
Human monk whose limbs have been replaced with magical prosthetics.
Okay.
Male human monk.
So Jack from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess he punches.
Here's the art for the Stormkeeper.
Bees!
And of course, it is a goblin.
You should ping that to jump rope.
Yeah, 100%. And also, that is kind of the Oprah. Everybody gets a bees.
I will. Not the beast.
Not the beast. Has anybody seen the new Nick Cage movie?
Where's Dracula?
No. He's coming out with a new one. It's like Dreamscape
guy
or
who's in
Dream
everybody's
something.
dreams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Supposedly it's pretty good. I've heard good things, but I haven't seen it yet myself.
Apparently, we're also getting demon T-Rexes.
Nice.
Excellent. I mean, it's about time.
How dare you make me have to put my own template on things?
Well, they haven't released the templates yet, so.
Yeah.
They'll be the archetypes, basically.
Yeah. I wish they would release the templates.
Well, there are templates. There's for some things, like there's ways of making a creature an undead creature.
Yeah, no,
And
I
it's just
like.
It works.
I'm a
Works really well in Foundry because you can just grab things and swap them out.
Yeah, just slap the tag on it.
Mm-hmm. What the downside to it is like it didn't change, even though I made it a cold creature, it didn't change its attacks to cold attacks. So that's a little bit of a bummer. But
you would have to go in and change those yourself, which it's not that hard because I was able to add for my when I did my little zombie. No, it was the Hydra run I did. I gave it a either poison or acid attacks.
Gotcha.
Additional damage to its bite attack.
Yeah. Most impressive thing we could see a guy in a suit and the mall weapons, so that's accurate. That's fair. Yeah. Should be a Christmas present for me arriving today. I hope it's a VR headset. That would be awesome. If Nick Cage wasn't already the most interesting man in the world, he would be with this movie. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm done with this one. That's the problem with like modern characters. Like, I don't know how to make them look interesting without just making them not look modern.
Ooh, in this Polygon article, the wild mimic takes on the classic Tarzan, or for video game fans, Street Fighter's Baraka, or Blanca, not Baraka. They have access to skills involving trampling, rending, and pouncing.
Was
Also,
Blanca raised by wild creatures? I thought he was just a science experiment.
I think he was like raised in the Amazon.
The
he's
lore
like
changes.
Yeah,
Raised by electric eels.
This is
maybe. Speaking of electricity, can also generate electricity, regenerate limbs, and make loud vocalizations, which probably do sonic damage.
Okay. So, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's fine.
It's magic. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm going to call this one good. Move on to the next one. A massive arm-winged bearded vulture, Aarakocra gunslinger. He's got wings for arms. I remember talking about this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, didn't we roll that last time? But no, that was just
Now we got to
it
suggest
was
it.
just suggested on Wednesday. Yeah.
Why can they regenerate limbs? That doesn't make any sense. I was raised by lizards. I can regenerate my limbs now.
I don't know if it was like you were necessarily had to be raised by a thing. I guess maybe you're tapping into the natural magics around you.
Skittle, hello. Sorry if I just now saw your message. That's my bad. I hope you're doing well.
Did you get
Shout
rated?
out. I don't know if I got rated because Twitch is not telling me things today, but
It doesn't look like it.
let me give Skittle a shout out. We're hanging out on YouTube and on Twitch today, so if you'd like me to share something on YouTube, please let me know. If you're still there. I don't know how long it's been since I looked at chat, so that's my bad. But yes. I hope you're doing well.
More dragonflies.
I mean, dragonflies don't really hive mind, so
Dragonflies don't hive mind. What are you talking? Oh, for swarms?
yeah, for a swarm keeper.
Gotcha. Blanca in
They're
the lower
not
essentially
really
survived off
social
of
creatures.
eating electric eels, which gives him his green skin. Blanca didn't have anybody but his family, but did find his family in one at the ending of Street Fighters. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, no problem, Skittle. Hope things are doing well. How's your art going? If people on YouTube haven't seen a blue Skittle, I highly recommend checking it out. Good, amazing landscape art.
Incredibly soothing voice.
Yeah.
Adorable cat.
Lots of cat. Bearded vulture. What is that? Is that a griffin?
Griffin.
Okay.
A ascended griffin. Which seems to be modeled off the murals from Knossos in Crete.
Interesting. Regrowing limb seems to be a little like passive regen, which I think is a bit OP for PCs. I have not actually found that it to be that big of a problem. The only time it does really become a problem is with getting knocked down. Just like you hit 0 hit points and then you just come back up the next round. So that's the only time that I see it being a big problem, and that is really only a problem because of the down system. Because in Pathfinder, like, if you got hit below 0, you're just unconscious. So you could still be regenning, but you're still unconscious, depending on how hard you got hit.
Mm-hmm.
But just, yeah, coming back up automatically when you have a hit point does make regen kind of broken.
Yep. But I would not posit that it's really that much more broken than having, say, access to 20 potions.
Yeah.
Also, like, way they handle... Because, like, basically regen in second edition would be fast healing, so that's probably what this feat would give you. And so that probably means it's above 6th level. Or
Sure.
at 6th level or above.
Yeah, and there's a handful of spells, and like I think there's a witch ability that gives it to you pretty early on for like 2. You can give it to someone for 2 hit points a round for like 10 rounds or something. So it's really only 10 hit points, but it's over 5 rounds, which I have not seen that break the game. I haven't. So it's been going well, being rather productive in the last couple of weeks. That's great. That's good to hear. If you have anything you want to share, let it know for sure. I'd love to see it. Bri yelled some tub thumping in there.
Tub thumping.
Yes. If you know, you know. Chumbawamba.
Name. Yep. So for me, those are. I get that they're songs, but also they're a reference to these 2 drag queens I watch occasionally.
Oh yeah. Which came first, the song or the drag queens?
The drag queens.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
because from them I found out, oh, they're songs.
Are they named after the drag queens, or is it vice versa? That was my question.
No, so, no. The dragons were talking about like songs that they played during intimate times.
Oh,
One of them jokingly said
funny.
"Tub Thumping" and "Jumbo Wumbo" or whatever it was.
So when Corvus answered which came first, he wasn't
Aw.
talking chronologically IRL. He was talking about in his awareness.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep, in awareness.
I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm just drawing a bird. I'm just straight up drawing a bird.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try.
Doesn't look very vulture-like though.
Yeah, I gave him a too big of a hooked face. So
Here, I'll scooch over. Let his wings spread.
goobs. Can you draw a request? Yeah, so we're doing the viewer suggestion today, which means you can suggest a one-sentence character description for your tabletop RPG, D&D character, whatever. Just needs to be a sentence that includes their race or class, and then no fan art, no mimics. Those are the rules.
Yep. And no pets.
That's just kind of I can't draw more than one character. So
Yep. Pets cost extra. Also, Drew, because I know you'll probably know this, what level is that positive attunement spell?
I think it's either third or fourth. I think it's fourth.
Okay, so about when you're like level 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense. That'll be my guess for the regen ability for this wild mimic person archetype thing.
okay.
Maybe a bit higher since it is an archetype.
It's a third level spell.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at it now. So for people in who have only played 5e and are missing, I just want to say you're really missing out on Pathfinder spellcasting. There are so many more spells.
So many useless spells.
Yes, there are a lot of useless spells, but there are some really cool ones.
There's a
So,
lot of useless 5e spells too.
yeah,
Less useless spells.
That's because there's less spells though.
in general, yeah. And I also think that 5e spells are less balanced.
Fair.
Especially pointing out silvery barbs.
Silvery Barbs is not a good example of 5e spells.
No. It doesn't
Anyway.
count.
No. Positive Attunement is a really cool spell that my druid has used a couple of times to great effect, and basically what it does
Evil.
is, let's see. I connect somebody to basically a celestial plane, and they get 1d8 of healing every round for up to a minute, although I have to sustain it.
Okay, yeah, so that's pretty comparable to the witch spell too. That might be the same thing, just renamed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, it weirdly works on undead, but you can use it to damage them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as said undead it's hurt by healing. I think there's a few cases where there isn't like
Yes.
hedge cases where there are undead who are just immune to like positive healing.
There's a type of healing that's not positive energy. So it just has to be specified that it's healing and not
Yes. Because
positive healing.
Dampiers cannot be healed by positive energy.
Yeah.
So they have to Dampier characters have to rely on potions or things that are not positive aligned.
Yep. I had made a half Oni barbarian and had a passive heal per long rest. as tapping into their blood. Healing equal to proficiency, but combined with rage, made them really hard to stay down. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, there used to be a tiefling, like, demon blood healing spell that they could get. That was kind of cool. They could use their own blood, or you'd have to kill a demon, and then you could heal somebody for a really small amount.
There's a orc ability similar to that. Though it doesn't give you healing, it makes you quickened for a round.
That's cool.
You're talking about a spell in an arcane spell in first edition Pathfinder, right? Rook?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I forget what it's called specifically.
It's like
but,
demonic healing or something.
Yeah, like it's one of the better healing spells in first edition Pathfinder. But yeah, I think the description says something like you anoint your target in the blood of a demon, and it gives fast healing 1.
Yeah.
Which is just 1 HP per round, but it's a first level spell.
Yeah, and it lasts for a while, so it
lasts for a number of rounds depending on your spellcaster class level.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Oh, there's a new Aquaman movie coming out.
Well, that's unfortunate. The second one wasn't terrible, it just wasn't a great movie, so we'll see what that one does.
But there's a second one? I thought there was just one Aquaman movie.
Oh no, there's a second one.
Because I thought he was just like in the Justice League movie.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Hold on, you might be right. It might have been Justice League and then Aquaman.
I think that this new Aquaman movie it has been in the works for a really long time, and it got put on ice because of the Amber Heard controversy. That was happening because there were a whole bunch of fans that were like,
"What was the?
We're not gonna watch it if she's in it."
Oh my god, I mixed up. I thought about the villain from the new Black Panther movie, and thought because that has Aquaman in it. That was really good. I liked that.
Nando or whatever his name
Namor.
is. Yep.
It was just Marvel's Aquaman.
You're right. I somehow split up some of the stuff from Justice League into the Aquaman movie. The Snyder Cut of Justice League was pretty good.
I mean, I've heard mostly good things about the Aquaman movie.
It's not bad. Like especially for like compared to other DC, it's probably one of my favorites. But it still has a lot of the same problems of like rushed pacing. The villains aren't very
good.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're not terribly interesting because it's just like,
written.
Hey, something bad happened to you, and now you're super fucking evil. It's just like, that seems okay. That's excessive, but great. Yeah. Everything just feels super rushed, and it doesn't have a lot of kick to it, but I would say that's probably one of my favorite DC movies of the new stuff.
I think, honestly, I would probably like it most just because there's Jason in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jason Momoa is really good.
Yeah. 1, he's hot. 2, he clearly is always having the most fun he possibly can have on set. He's a decent actor, and
It seems like a decent human being.
yeah.
I gotta do this real quick. This is what I'm trying to draw, and I don't know how to do it. I'm just gonna put that over there. I'm drawing like
Are
Hawk
these-
face.
Is that a DC character?
Hawk face?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's the
DC version of Hawkeye, but actual with a Hawk
I mean,
face.
there's Hawkman. So like,
there's also Hawk Gal or Hawk Girl or
Yeah. The Thanagarians.
Yep. Who are from Flash Gordon. They are the same.
I didn't know this until years later,
Mhm.
because I actually did not grow up in a generation that watched Flash Gordon.
I always thought it was weird. I was like, why are they the exact same? That's lazy. And then I was like, oh, it's because they have the same. Flash Gordon is in the DC Universe. My bad.
Yep.
Can't be worse than the D&D sensitivity readers. Changing things to monsters. I have. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Western Justice specifically, but yeah, there's just too much. Too much. Too many DC villains just, like, they just go all in for no reason.
Like, you don't have to go this far. Like, you could go get therapy. Harley Quinn.
No, she's a child psychologist. She knows how little therapy works in their world.
Fair. I mean, Batman does send everyone to an insane asylum, so.
Not everybody. Just all the supervillains.
On the regular, he sends to an early grave.
I was trying to drive the shadow dude from My Hero Academia with the hawk head. What a weird character. Like, My Hero Academia has some strange designs.
And some batshit crazy superpowers.
Yeah. And then sometimes they just, like, mix them up for no reason.
Yeah.
It's just like, what? Oh, you're Hawkboy. You can fly, right? Because you look like a bird. It's like, no, I have demon powers. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I literally have shadow magic.
I can't remember. I think this guy was supposed to be have a bow, right?
Guns?
Who's a gunslinger? Yeah, you're right. You know what that means. High-waisted pistolero belt. Oh, but then how does he draw the pistol? He got bird hands.
Wait, or does he have like taloned wing arms?
I was told big ass bird arms.
Big old bird wing hands.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking Breath of the Wild.
It says something that most villains would rather turn to crime than pay for therapy. Like how expensive the crime is. That's true, yeah. The fact that Batman sends all the supervillains to Arkham Asylum has always been weird to me. Like, for instance, Poison Ivy is an environmental terrorist. There's nothing wrong in her head. I mean, they've all decided to murder people to justify their cause. I think that's kind of the thing. Vulture has a rather large wing spread. Yeah. So, like, I think the whole thing with Arkham is that Arkham can hold these people. Like that's really the problem.
Yeah,
The thing is,
yeah.
like it's not just a they can't because they keep getting out, but it's not just a regular like prison. That and Batman thinks that they deserve to have a chance to be rehabilitated.
Which I'm glad he thinks that, because that belief and sticking to that belief is honestly the only thing that keeps him in recent years from being an anti-hero.
In many of the comics that don't make it to the air, he kills the Joker. so
Yeah.
just with your point. With your point. That does happen from time to time. They change the wording in the worst way, such as changing insane people or villains to monsters. Looking it up later may be a video spread awareness.
Well, Killer Croc is actually a monster, so...
Interesting. Is he, though? Just because he looks bad? I mean, King Shark's just a shark.
And Orca is just an orca.
Yep. Thanks,
Orca
Aquaman.
Yeah.
Keep your shit together. I do think Arkham Asylum really was just it's kind of a holdover, because Batman villains initially were like, this lady thinks she's a cat, this person thinks they're a penguin. The Joker, if somebody doesn't need,
That's murder.
yeah, I mean, like, he's a sociopath or a psychopath, like,
At the very least.
at the very least. So I think Arkham Asylum made sense for those characters, and then it just kind of, they just kept it, you know, because now it is like Arkham's the only place that can withstand having Killer Croc locked up there. Like a regular prison wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
I feel like Bruce Wayne should probably be investing into Arkham to like.
Oh yeah, no, I mean
sure.
it's essentially funded just by Bruce Wayne.
It just doesn't seem like it's doing too well of a job then. Like, these people aren't getting the help. You keep locking them up here, they keep getting out.
Well, the people who work there are trying, okay? They're trying.
Yeah.
But you can't cure somebody with a mental illness externally. Like, they have to be putting in the work themselves. And you do see a couple of villains putting in the work occasionally. I think Poison Ivy has put in the work occasionally.
Yeah.
I think Harley put in some work once she disentangled herself from the mental manipulation that the Joker did to her.
I mean, we're unfortunately back in the area of there's so much canon
Yep.
that everything we're saying doesn't matter. Like there are
Yeah.
100% stories where things happen well and things that don't work. So it really is all the times they escape from Arkham, like that may have only happened once, but we just keep seeing the instances where they do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We're watching the retelling of a
Yeah.
lot of the same old stories. Over
in
and
this
over again.
universe, Harley Quinn escapes Arkham. It's like, oh no.
What shall we do?
Yeah, I recommend reading the original Dark Knight comic. It's really good, but it starts with Joker essentially convincing everybody that he is being rehabilitated, and he wants to prove that he's sane again, I guess is what they're going for. And he goes on a TV show and he gasses everybody in the audience with Joker toxin. So it's like, it's as long as, and the whole thing about that comic is like, as long as Batman is working within the system, it's going to be broken. So I recommend reading that comic. It's good.
I also like White Knight.
I haven't read that one. Maybe I'll have to look that up.
Let's see. It's not they play a little fast and loose with some canon. Basically, there's two Harleys. Old Harley disentangled herself from Joker and found him a new, younger version to kind of like take her place in his entourage, and she went, got a different identity and started developing drugs in order to help the Joker, and so she actually does. I won't say rehabilitate him, but she finds a compound that works for his particular number of psychoses, and Bruce is like off the wall, like becoming increasingly violent and deranged, and so it's called White Knight because Joker reclaims his identity briefly, and actually checks Batman in the way that is good and he's supposed to. I don't think any of it is actually canon because I believe the medication ends up killing Joker in the end. So, but like it's another interesting kind of story and retelling, and talking about how trauma and the ways in which trauma and stress can change people for the better and for the worse.
Yep. Going back to the D&D thing with just kind of whitewashing the term insane, I think this could be. I don't think this is a hot take, and like I'm trying to do this as sensitively as possible, but like not all mental illness is the same. Like that's a big thing, and so when people get directly called like, "Oh, you're an insane person, you're acting insane," I can see why that could be triggering and like upsetting to people. So that's absolutely a thing. Like, yeah, maybe the book shouldn't call somebody like an insane wizard, right? But also with fantasy, like I think decoupling the use of that term with specific like mental illnesses and it's kind of the same thing with hysteria. Like hysteria is a very gendered term.
Yeah.
But like looking at descriptors, and like for a long time when I was younger, like psychopaths and sociopaths were another like buzzword that people just used to describe aberrant behavior. I think it's important to really sit down and say, hey, you know, some of these terms are maybe not too hot topic or too hot button, but like they do mean important medical things, so we maybe shouldn't use them. And I think that's fine. But like describing somebody that is a wizard that is, you know, bent on taking over the universe so they can become a lich by killing people, I don't think it's fair to say that, oh, they're not a bad guy because they have a mental illness. It's like they're still kind of a bad guy. Yeah, you have to look at it both ways, because there's also, I think in the last 10 years or so, there have been a lot of media things of like trying to show that all the evil people in all of old media were actually the good guys, or like just misunderstood. And it's like some people are just evil. Like it's okay for there to be evil people.
Yeah, I think with that regard, I was most upset about Maleficent being rebranded, because like she is legitimately supposed to just be evil. The original story basically doesn't function unless she is actively vindictive and evil. And like she's not supposed to be a person either. She's a fairy, right? She's supposed to represent the vindictiveness of the Fae, and in some retellings even she's like a handmaiden of the devil himself in like Christianized versions of that story. So yeah.
When it comes to people rebranding books and stuff to try to kind of decouple those terms, I think that's fine. I don't think that's necessarily malicious, or what you were saying was I kind of lost the chat there, but yeah, I could definitely see like I think probably a good example of that was like the Mad Mage. Like I don't know if that's necessarily in response to him having a mental illness. I think I think he's just supposed to be kind of, like I said, aberrant in a way that is dangerous. So whether or not you want to count that as a mental illness that needs to be dealt with separately from the book, it would be a little strange if the person was very calm and rational and then they wouldn't be as much of a villain. So it's hard to decouple those two things, the stigma of it, right? But at the same time, like having someone that is decided to go against the normal way of things is kind of how you get those. And that can be as simple as like just crime in general or disregard for human life. And I think those are the things that people are trying to focus on for the storytelling. And unfortunately, people get kind of hung up on it, just like I am right now. Like, I don't really know how to talk about it without sounding kind of like an asshole, but know that that's not my intent. Just because you have mental illness does not mean that you are, a mad wizard.
Yeah.
But
most people with mental illness are far more likely to be the victim than the perpetrator of any crime, but especially violent crime.
And I do think there's a that might be getting a little too political of it. Here in Washington, we're spending a lot more time and money trying to figure out like decriminalizing mental illness. And there have been, especially I think Oregon is also doing this too. It's like drug addiction and things like, okay, we're no longer going to be arresting people for this, but then offering help instead. And that's a really interesting way to look at it. And it's going to take probably 10, 20 years before we figure out if any of that's the case. But like when it comes to writing stories, like that's where that starts, right? It's just like anybody that's on drugs is stigmatized as being evil or corrupt. Like that's kind of how the stories have been for the last 30 or 40 years. So it's like, how do we get that stigma out of the books? And right now, it's just you kind of remove it, and it feels weird. It doesn't sound right. So people, I don't know. I'm okay with people doing that stuff. I'm okay with them removing stigmatized things. It's like you can find another way to describe somebody without having to do that. So I think it's good. I'm done with this bird, man. I don't know what else to do with it. I gave him the little hands. I'm happy with it. It's 1 o'clock. I'm going to get more water, and then we'll come back, and we'll keep drawing. Sound good? All right.
Sounds good to me.
Hang tight, everybody.
Excuse me. Water. Okay, we're back. It's a good movie series that won't be made into a comic series with the Batman who laughed. Would be brutal.
Oh, the comic series Batman Who Laughs. Is that the one where Batman's the Joker? Can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is the Orca guy... Is that from My Hero Academia? Or is there actually an Orca in Batman too?
I don't know if it's in Batman, but there is a woman who is an orca. She was a biologist. She gets transformed in some genetic experiment, and it's definitely in Marvel, but I don't know if she's ever specifically a canon Batman character. I think I'm only familiar with her from seeing her in in the context of the Suicide Squad, I think.
Gotcha. Killer Croc and her got married in the comic. That's funny.
Yep.
Wasn't just I still prefer they don't change to something that's more harmful, such as describing insane people as monsters, and just use mad. Yeah, unfortunately, the problem is like I think the, and we should probably just kind of like this could be a discussion for a whole other time, so we'll change the subject after this. But I think the thing to focus on there is like deciding which language is hurtful, because like I think all language can be hurtful, and it's really just determined on how they're using it and in the context. So. Because like being insane, if you're disguising someone being insane or as like a mad, like I said, the mad wizard, you could break it down to like, do they have PTSD? Do they have something wrong with them? Is it like their brain chemistry is now altered because of magic means? Like it's just, you're never going to find a perfect way to say it. So it really just depends on writing a good character. And that's my problem with a lot of DC movies is the characters don't feel good. Like they don't feel like they're written well and they don't put a lot of thought into it. So. The same thing with evil. Like evil could be a whole ton of things, and it's unfortunate that you can't go that way. So no one's ever going to be fully happy, but you can be tactful. Try to do your best. Some people just want to watch the world burn. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, what about a Tarrasque turtle barbarian with Viking runes on the shell? Suggestions. Oh yeah, I don't know what Tarrasque look like anymore.
They look like Spike here, Godzilla.
Spike here, Godzilla.
Godzilla with an ankylosaur tail.
Just got your VR headset. Nice. That should be fun. What is this music? Welcome to the new age. I feel like this is just going to be Blastoise.
I mean, maybe kinda.
I can't remember. Is the Tarrasque a deific created thing, or did some wizard make it?
I don't know.
I feel like it might be like a Rovagog thing. What was the original Tarrasque? Was it a lion?
Lion turtle.
It was a lion turtle? Okay.
Yeah. But also fell under the umbrella of dragon, I think? Oh, Corvus, I think you know more about this than me.
I'm talking like the French Tarrasque. Not the D&D Tarrasque.
Yeah.
It was created to kill gods. Okay. Batman Who Laughs was Bruce Wayne that killed the Joker in another Earth, but the Joker planned for it and poisoned himself to make Batman the new Joker. Got it. We might have lost Corvus with the
comic book talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The French Tarrasque, to my understanding, was a chimera of sorts. The orca guys from My Hero. Okay.
Chimera of sorts doesn't really help. Most mythological creatures are chimera, are chimeric in nature.
Spiky. Yep. Spiky shirtle. Spiky shell. There we go. I can't talk right now. Gang orca. My superpower is to have lots of gang members with me. That show is so weird.
It is. It's really weird. I really couldn't stick with it for very long, and I'm not surprised.
I want to finish it because I like the story, but like, there's too much crying, and not like, oh no, feelings. Like it's just like it's so disruptive to the story.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's part of the reason I haven't picked Bleach back up. But at least with Bleach, it's like, okay, now we're going to tell you about this person's backstory. Now we're going to tell you about this person's backstory. It's like, fine, I get it. That's your whatever. But in My Hero, it just feels like it's the same person crying every time. It's like, we get it. You're sad. Continue the story, please. He does have a whole organization. Yeah, but is that a superpower? I guess the name of the character doesn't have to be their superpower, right? So that's fine.
He can also swim really fast, and
I'm Captain Swimmy Faster.
hold his breath for a long time, and I think he has super strength.
Orcas are terrifying.
I think he also has echolocation and is I think part of his power is the ability to influence people, so I think that he can...
I can flip over boats with my face. Work.
You think your boat goes real fast? What happens if I bite off your rudder and propeller?
Take that. I think he has echolocation and is a rescue hero. His superpower is being an orca. Yep. I feel like those superheroes kind of get the shaft. It's like, oh, my body's made out of cosmic energy. And what about you? It's like, I somehow am a chicken? Yep, just chicken DNA all the way. No idea. Squirrel Girl makes it work. Gotta give Squirrel Girl credit.
Yeah. Isn't she like, I mean, I know that this was in a comic book for kids, but isn't she like the one of, or maybe the only Marvel superhero to be able to take Thanos on one-on-one?
Yeah, somehow. But I think there's some shenanigans there.
Yeah.
There's lots of jokes about her being an Omega level mutant, but that's neither here nor there. Also, Deku literally breaks his body, so him crying is normal. That's fair. He does break his body a lot. Hello, Atomic Sorcery. How are you today? Yeah, I really like the concept of My Hero Academia, but it's so slow. I got to like season 3 and I stopped watching it. And one of my friends is like, "Oh, that's when it gets good." And I'm like, "Damn it! Do I keep watching it or not?"
I'm afraid I don't pick things up once I put them down, so I know I'm not getting back to it.
I made an OC of a snow leopard that makes portals by expending spoo. I can't read the rest of that because the heart is covering it up, so I can't argue. Spent all day yesterday playtesting a new game. Nice.
I hope it was fun.
I gotta finish my Raptor Run game so I can start working on the other one. I was gonna do that yesterday, but then the internet was out. trying to learn Godot, and they have a tutorial for how to make like a little run, infinite runner game. I'm almost done with it. If you want to make games, you just got to start.
Yep.
By extending spots. Gotcha. Gotcha. Don't know why I'm doing it over the shoulder. I really just want to show off the shell. But I think I've made this harder on myself than it needs to be. We're burning down. We're burning down to that part of the day when the brain starts shutting off.
I'm there with you, although I'm proud of the stuff that I drew today, which is good considering how frustrated I was on Wednesday.
Shell is the integral part of the turtle, yeah.
Well, how can you have a turtle without a shell? I would posit you'd have to have it be an undead.
I want to draw that undead tabaxi. That sounds really cool. But the dice gods have not deemed it so. You'd have to really sell to me being an undead, or not an undead, but a Tarask turtle. Like, how did this come about?
Yeah. Same.
There's some.
Like, we're gonna have to have the dragon turtle discussion first.
Yeah. A turtle without a shell is basically a lizard folk. Who wants that?
I know some people.
Are we playing D&D tomorrow?
I don't know. I don't have anything prepared.
Should I run a 5e campaign? 5e game?
We can, I guess. I've got a couple characters built I could probably adapt. I don't think I'm quite ready to step into the GM seat yet.
I'm trying to warm back up to it. We'll get back into gaming more. At one point I was playing like 3 or 4 games a week. Like I was running 3 or 4 games a week.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm playing like once a week at the most. It's like, I need to get back into that. Giraffes, no game mechanics applied. It's just a skin, though. Maybe a MacGuffin later? Lets him change size, and other MacGuffins give him other abilities. Okay.
I really don't like to play with the Trask, actually, specifically because it's supposed to be an extremely unique creature, right? Like
Should be one. It is a specific
Yeah.
creature. Like, yeah.
There's one of them in the universe, which means to me that it should only be pulled out for very special occasions.
Both terrifying and hilarious. The Halfling Sheep Cavalry, I have a deck based around that from Magic the Gathering. It's called Holy Sheep. And it's full of... Yep. It's full of Kithkins. Kithkins riding goats. It's pretty great. It's one of my most broken decks that I own, and I don't play it very often. At one point in time, it had the potential of... I think I gained like 200 some life in a turn. And it's just like, this is stupid. But one second, be right back. Okie dokie. Kithkin? Yeah, Kithkin. What's my favorite Kithkin card? It's playing a Goblin Nation with the culture of sheep cavalry. Nice. Gotta ride them goats. Okay, I think I'm done with this bad boy here.
Yeah, me too.
Got any more in you, or are you done for the day?
I think I've got one more in me. How many more do you got in me?
I think I can
one
do
of
one
mine
more.
is worth 10 of yours.
Yeah, I can do one or two more.
Okay.
I started making a pizza, so we'll see how that goes. A little snack might help. Might help my brain. I like the concept. Skeletal, like black dragon turtle. Sounds pretty great. Classes for the game I played yesterday were the talent. Oh, okay, were. The talent, the conduit, the furry? How do you spell fury? F-U-R-Y, or is it two R's? Which one's which?
I don't know. You are asking the wrong person if you want to know how to spell. I always get those
Fury.
two incorrect. I think it's one R's fury.
I think two R's is furry. So the fury, the shadow, the tactician. There are others, but this one's on the table. Interesting. I hope you didn't have an NDA. One R is the feeling. Okay. All right, I'm gonna roll some dice.
Same.
Six.
The D12?
D10.
D10.
Young brown bear, barbarian. Oh no. With a great axe and a medium-sized barrel of honey. All right. Tiny bear barbarian. Got it.
Cool. Natural one.
I already did that one. That's my bad. Hold on. A female starborn hermit monk, way of the sun soul. No metal. Starborn, huh?
Starborn.
It's a Winnie the Pooh, but D&D. Yeah, it sounds like it.
I'm going to assume that Starborn are this homebrew thing that I'm looking at. Starborn Sun Soul Monk?
Yep.
Cool.
It's a good barbarian pose. I like going real wide. Ooh, I have a good campaign. I remembered now. I really want to play.
We're gonna play tomorrow.
Yeah, we can do that. We can play tomorrow.
Oh.
I really do want to play a game where the players kind of run the show. But I do want to see if I can make a turtle without like spikes on its shell. Yeah, you should be able to. I played the Conduit was a priest class. Cool. Fortunately, Atomic, I like that. I don't know what this game is about or what it's for, so I'm a little lost. The names mean nothing to me. Isn't that normal D&D? Or are you that guy? I have struggled with a lot of playing D&D being the DM playing 5 different games with everybody, each individual player. I'm currently struggling with that. In the game I'm running with, well, I'm not running, sorry, the game I'm playing with, Kevin the Necromancer, I basically had to be like, okay, my character's gonna step out. Like, I'm here, but like, I want you guys to run. Like, you guys need to drive the story for a little while. So, trying to let the other players kind of get involved. And part of it's because a lot of them are kind of newer players. So I would love to play a game where the players don't need DM hand-holding. I want people to go off the wall and really drive the story. I think that would be fun. Kind of get the DM out of the way, I guess, is a better way to say it. Which, to do that, you really have to have, like, the world you set up has to be, like, inherently actionable.
Yeah.
So, like, either a really, really good map or, something comfortable enough with all the players that they know what they can and can't do without having to, like, really be directed.
Yeah, you have to have a lot of the stuff about the world predefined.
Yeah. It's a tough challenge. Sorry for the uncomfortable conversation here. No problem, Western Justice. It's just it's something worth talking about, but yeah, it can get a little heavy. So thanks for hanging out. We'll catch you later. Do you want to play Fiasco? I don't know what Fiasco is. It's not named yet. I'm just generally excited, and I'm bad at hiding this stuff. Well, like I said, I hope it wasn't. I hope it's not under an NDA or anything. But yeah, I'm working on a few little projects, and they're basically not, like, they have no media presence yet. So it's like me talking about this isn't going to help because there's nowhere for people to go to, like, look at it. I've drawn a very chubby bear.
I mean, they kind of should be, right?
I drew him very small. Little tail. So I think what I want to try, I'm going to try something for tomorrow with 5e, and I think what I'm going to do with it is essentially, like I said, the best way to kind of let the DM get out of the way is to give people space. And I think the trick I want to try is basically giving you guys a very small area that, like, that you can know very well. And that might be hard. It might be difficult. We'll see how it goes. But to be honest, this is as accurate as far as barefolk go. They're all missing the red shirt. And the company that does this does not believe in NDAs. I can just share documents. All right.
I do know that Dagon was hoping to take a break from 5e, so...
Yeah. If we don't have anything else planned, I mean, I think that's...
Yeah. Just letting you know they might not join us.
That's fine.
That's...
Day's fine. I know Jonas wanted to play 2e too, but...
But if nobody's got anything...
I'm going to run 5e game tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Because I know you also might not be as interested as a 5e game. That's fine.
I'm not as interested in a 5e game, but, like, I want to play something.
Sure. One shots are good. Amazing in nature? What's this? If the human was a right to bear arms and the bear have a right to human arms, well, I don't know if I agree with that, but sure. Which would be better? Fighter arms or for a monk? Who's giving these bears these rights? That's what I want to know.
They're inalienable.
Bears have an inalienable right to human arms. That is adorable, Corvus.
Depends on. Probably depends on the bear folk government.
I don't remember reading the the bear constitution, so I want to see these see where this is posted before I agree to any human arms for bears. We the bears, in order to form a more perfect union. We three bears. Is that how this starts? Nope. Everything exploded. Oh no, I closed the chat. Hold on a second. Everything just went sideways on me. There we go. Do you want to try a DM-less game? No, I don't want to do a DM-less game. I want... how do I say it? I want to give people the opportunity to play their characters with each other without the DM having to step in as much as possible. So a DM-less game is kind of that direction, but there's more to it than that. I'm trying to change my DMing approach, is really what I want to do. The bear constitution is great, though some say it's unbearable. You could say the bear constitution has to be the bare necessities. Oh, no. A little joke to brighten the day. I'll be right back. Unrelated from the bear puns. I'll be right back. I found a cheap pizza at the store, and I was very, very excited. I'm going to put my headphones on here. Because I'm like, a combination pizza for super cheap, hell yeah. And I got it home. The reason it was so cheap, because it's a hamburger pizza. Those are not peppers, those are pickles. And it has ketchup instead of sauce. So, we'll see how this goes.
Now, what you're telling me suggests that this is going to be more painful for you than normal pizza.
Maybe. We'll find out. But yeah. In Russia, you have the rights to the whole bear. In Russia, the bear have the rights to just eat you. So, can't stop that. That sounds awful. We'll find out. Yeah. I'm pretty not picky. Like, I'll complain about anything. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yep. Oh, same.
It's my God-given right to complain. But
If I'm not complaining, I'm not happy.
yeah. But there's a lot of stuff that I won't. I mean, there's not a lot of stuff that I just won't eat. Like French onion soup. I hate French onion soup. Really? I hate the way it smells when you cook it. I hate I hate how much cheese is on top. But I'll eat it. I'll eat it all the time.
I love French onion soup. I think I agree with you about the cheese.
Could this be the legendary Sir Barrington? If this is a legendary Sir Barrington, this is like on a day off and retired because he like ate a whole dragon. So Orson Barrington is a monk.
And this is 2 weeks before he goes into hibernation.
Mm-hmm. He's a tall boy. He's a polar bear. He only eats the finest fish.
Surely he'd make an exception for seal flipper pie.
Hank the Tank, a really fat bear. What's the bear that won Fat Bear Week this year? Can't remember her name.
I did not know Fat Bear Week was a thing.
Oh yeah, every year. It's great. Elvin Hair, what if you make it yourself? Homemade soup is really good. Yeah, I'm really good at making soup. And I can make a really, really good French onion soup. The caramelized smell of the onions I don't like. So it's kind of a moot point. I can make a bomb ass French onion soup. And I'll complain about it, and then I'll eat it. Something I had to learn about when working in a kitchen. Because I've known people that, like... Man, I'm glad that kid got fired. But... they would refuse to make things because they're like, that's gross. I'm not going to do that. I'm like, the guy wants it made that way. Just do it. And they're like, no, that's stupid. Why should we do that? It's like, because that's how they want it. So like, if you become a chef or a cook, you have to be able to eat things even if you don't like it, because you have to know how they're supposed to taste. So flavor becomes less of a like yes no, and then you just like kind of start understanding the gradient that is flavor. Yeah, there are some things that are awful, but whatever, it's food. So
I've never liked any sort of liver pate. I don't care if it's goose, duck, or chicken.
But if you're a cook that cooks that, you need to know what it tastes like.
Yep.
I was going to say maybe a game where you could have a self-contained environment, like a spaceship where the game is largely about the crew relationships. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking about Atomic Sorcery. Is like, I want to build the world in a way that the players can remember it. Right, like they know the things that they can interact with without having to ask the DM. Like, I don't want everything to be a perception roll. I want them to be able to actually like get into it, which is tough. And it's something I want to learn how to do. Because like right now, this is something Kevin the Necromancer and I have talked about a few times. The issue with the chair, right? Like the critical role chair thing.
Yep.
It's like if as a DM you only ever explain things that the players need to hear, then they're always going to pick up on... Excuse me, got the hiccups. Everything you say to them becomes important information. But if you meander too much and you talk about everything, then the players can get lost and distracted by the DM's talking. So it's very much
basically there's no important information.
There's no important information. And that's something like I've yelled at Lars about this, because Lars will do this. Lars will like basically write a story, and it's like, that was really cool, but that gave us no information for what the players or characters should do. So I'm just gonna kind of fuck off. Like, I don't know what to do. I really don't know. And so there's that. Those are the two kind of far ends of it. Is that, and then with, like I said, with Kevin will basically just like, oh yeah, you guys show up in the town. Oh, and there's this building right here, and it's just like, I guess we go to that building then, because it's like, if it's the only information you're going to give us, that's the only information we can act on. So I'm trying to figure out a way to, how do you tell a story with enough information that the players can kind of explore narratively without having too many pitfalls of too much information. So yeah, it's just kind of, it's a thing. It's a thing that I need to improve with my DMing, and I'm gonna practice. Case in point, I won't eat liver, by the way. Liver is bad for you.
Well, if it was perfectly clean liver, then it wouldn't be, but there's no such thing, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. Liver is the kitchen sink of the body. Everything bad gets stored there until the body can get rid of it. So maybe don't eat that. Yeah, liver can be good if, like, you need iron or you're missing something. But for the most part, the downsides that can cause from eating too much liver does not outweigh the benefits for me. There's a reason polar bears' livers kills you. Yeah, too much vitamin E. I'm sure liver tastes amazing. I'm sure there are some people that need to eat liver. I'm not gonna. I'll avoid it.
Or it is my understanding that for tribal societies that live in deserts specifically, nutrition is such that women tend to need to eat the liver of the animals that are hunted, and men tend to need to eat the testicles because women lose more blood and men lose more zinc.
Interesting. What time is it? 1:46. Should I do one more? I could probably do one more.
How if you
close
got
are you
one
being
more in you, I think I should be able to wrap this up.
Okay, I'm gonna do one more.
Within the time.
I rolled the wrong die. Need a D8. I'm gonna bust out my orange D8 here. There we go. A human witch eating a sandwich. All right. That seems fair. Can do.
Depending on how you choose to interpret that, that could be a very
A witch eating a sandwich.
sexually charged.
Sure.
Witch eating another witch.
I went cannibalism, but sure, you can go that way.
I would prefer to go the sexy route than the cannibal route, generally speaking.
Oh dang, maybe next week. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, Moniker. Keep putting it on there, and we'll eventually get to it. Druid. Go to horny jail. I blame Burning. Burning does too much sexy witch art. Not for, like, his own good or anything, just that's where I get most of my sexy witch art from.
I blame the Reddit thread, which is versus the patriarchy.
I didn't know that existed. Is it sexy?
It's not particularly. It's mostly funny lesbian memes.
The weirdest part about this pizza is the mustard. But it does taste like a cheeseburger, so. Is it good? Debatable. Does it deliver what it said it would? Yeah.
Just so long as it's edible. And won't cause you immense pain later. But given the fact that there's undoubtedly cheese on it,
Yeah. I'll be fine.
who knows?
Because the dice god didn't like me this week. Not that I mind sexy witches, but I guess I'll try next week. Yeah. We got through a lot. So, sorry about that, everybody. The dice god are fickle creatures. Fickle, fickle creatures.
Indeed. I'm just happy that the art gods allowed me to draw today.
That's fair. I say as I, like, this face is so crooked. I don't know what I did. Dice roll and the dice ignore. Yeah, Atomic, that's not quite what I was talking about. But it's not a bad suggestion. I guess something else is more that I want the interaction between the players to really drive some of the story. Which I think is something that I'm weak on.
I've managed what I think you're talking about once, and it was the best, I think, D&D, like, long-running D&D game I have ever managed, but it legit took me 8 months of prepping the world in order for me to feel comfortable running that.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, no. I mean, to be
That's
fair,
too much.
I don't necessarily think. I think that you are much better as a GM at improving than I am.
I definitely struggle sometimes with some of my characters, so that's really what I want to improve on is.
Yeah, yeah.
Did everybody see the Baby Kobold short I did yesterday? If you haven't thumbs that video up, I would appreciate it. Leave a comment. Say something silly. I hope that's what people wanted. Because I asked people what they wanted me to do yesterday, and they said cute stuff. Am I drawing really tiny again? I am.
Yeah.
Oh well. See if Twitch gets mad at me drawing feet. Also, never showing it to my DM in case the kobold hatchery trap comes up. Yeah. Right? I mean, like, that's terrifying. You find a treasure room. Yay, there's a bunch of eggs everywhere. It's like, uh-oh.
They're kobold eggs. Oh, no, we're good.
Get 'em!
They immediately start to hatch, enchanting and dragonic, saying, food,
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 food, food.
food.
Yep, I think I'm about done.
Yep.
I think that's all I got.
I'm finished, so we can end whenever you're ready.
Hold on, let me put her on a broom. Perfect. Okay. I think that's it. I think that's it for the day. I need to go cut some wood, and then I need to build some shelves, and then, yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I don't have much else going on today. So I'll probably come back and work on the video after that. Might be around the Discord, but I'm going to take probably an hour break, eat some lunch, and just, yeah, get it going. Thanks for hanging out today, everybody. Thanks for hanging out this week. Thanks for all the comments and likes on the videos. If you have suggestions for more shorts, I think I want to do something like basically just
healing.
go through the D&D book. Thank you, Atomic. I will drink my water. Go through the monster manual and just do like cute versions of things. That could be fun. Or just redraw them. I'm not sure which. But if you have suggestions like that, let me know. Or something you'd like to see. Please put them in a comment on a video somewhere. Otherwise, that's all we got for the day. Let me see if there's anybody around for a raid. The YouTube. Indestructible Boy's around. we can do that. And then for Twitch, let's see if anybody's around for a raid on Twitch. A raid! No, we're just gonna bounce it. We're just gonna bounce it. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Stay happy, stay healthy, keep your dice on the table. We'll see you all next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.